Hello, and welcome to another episode of Arklay Zoo. Today we're going to be working on a food court, putting in our Indian Peafowls, and putting in the rest of Belle's Terrarium. So let's go ahead and jump right on into that time lapse. So we're going to start with this food court, and I decided to go with the pre-made African-themed shop fronts. And then we'll go through and we'll put in the stores, the info booth, etc. And then later on, off camera, I put in all the benches and umbrellas and the foliage. Now, one of the things that will be new for the next couple of episodes is that I'm recording this part before I do the live play. Now, unfortunately, over the next couple episodes, I recorded everything for the builds before I recorded the live plays. So there's a possibility that in the live plays you'll get kind of a sneak peek at what's to come. For example, in the next episode we'll be working on another food court and the elephants. So in my live play, especially around the terrarium, you may see the elephants and that food court. So yeah, so that's something we're going to do now. I was going back and forth with the possibility of just showing you the builds and then doing a massive live play episode where it was just a live play to cover episodes. Let's see, this is 4, 5, and I think I'm working on 6 right now. Maybe more than that because I've got a lot of stuff set aside for the next episode that I may have to cut into 2, possibly 3 episodes. One of the main things to look forward to as well is I'm going to be fixing Gondorman Safari. I'm going to turn it into 4 separate habitats so it's easier for the zookeepers to maintain. Now, one of the things that I really enjoyed working on in here was this food court, because it had a theme. It wasn't just a straight the other one had a theme, but it was more classic and all that stuff. It was just not, what's the word? It's not exciting, I guess would be the best thing for it. I mean, not that this stuff is exciting, but alright, so that's the food court, and as you can see, I've already got the tables and everything put in, and I did that off camera. And now we're working on the Indian Peafowl exhibit, which will actually be a walkthrough exhibit. And I start off by laying down the path, and then now I'm working on the shelter. I decided to go ahead and make my own shelter and just do pretty much the whole thing as a shelter. Now, the shelter does go over the walkway, and I had to get a little creative with that, and I'm not sure if I did that on camera or off camera, but you'll see later on here in the live play that I did get pretty darn creative with the support poles. So yeah, and I think I've been talking for a little bit too long now. I'm starting to feel it in my voice, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and let you guys watch for a minute, and I'll be back in a couple seconds. Alrighty, a couple sips of water later and I'm back. So one of the things with these support beams that you see me putting in now is that I put them too close together and I put too many in, I feel. Originally the idea was to make it, kind of like a barrier, but then at the same time it felt like too much. Now also, as you can see, and I'm fixing it here, is that the beams were sticking up out of the base of the roofing, and that was just because of how I had the roof placed. So yeah, now it's time to put in the stuff for the habitat, all the bedding, the food, etc. and then our peafowls will be ready to come in. Now, I started putting in the foliage, and you guys know me. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I absolutely love oversaturated areas of foliage. Nature, man, nature. I love it. As a kid, my parents would take me and my sister and some of our friends camping for 2 weeks at a time. Only running water is the river. No bathrooms. We had to make our own bathroom, dig a latrine and so forth. Yes, I was a Boy Scout for a little bit, believe it or not. And so I just love being surrounded by nature and just everything looking so pretty and stuff. But, of course, the peafowls don't like that much foliage, and I really just want to run up to one and kick one. Full disclosure, I would never ever do that. So, I cut away here from me placing the stuff, and now I'm deleting a lot of it and putting some back in or changing it around just because I want it to look nice. And you're walking through it too, so it's not like you're looking at it through glass or over the hedge. It needs to be nice for the people to walk through too. So, of course, one problem I have, and you'll see this later I think in the live play, is all of the garbage, just straight garbage that people leave in the pathway in this exhibit, and I'm just like, what? Anyways, well, moving on to the terrarium. I went ahead and I put in a bathroom and stuff, and now we're going to make the sign for the terrarium. Now, the reason why I put out the letters for terrarium first is, I'm not going to say that I'm the smartest person in the world, but I'm a pretty smart person. Except for the fact that I just could not figure out how to spell terrarium. So I've got 2 screens set up, when I'm playing and when I'm recording and all this stuff. And I had the game on one screen. I had my internet on the other screen. Seriously, pulled up the word terrarium, and I actually did have it spelled wrong in my head. So that's why I spelled out terrarium first. Now, this will be Belle's Terrarium. It's by the same Belle Incorporated that did the reptile house. My sister, and stuff. And she loves snakes, lizards, spiders. It does kind of speak to her character a little. But funny story about a tarantula she once had for my nephews. She moved out of her apartment and moved back into the family home, and I was living here too at the time, and I did not allow the spider into the house. I am terrified of spiders. I'm also kind of terrified of snakes, but I let the Mexican boa come into the house because that was a huge tank. So it was end of September, mid-September, something like that. And she left the spider outside in its tank, or terrarium, or whatever you want to call it. And she decided, because it was a little cold outside, to cover it in blankets, I think a trash bag, and then turned its lamp on. She forgot to turn the lamp off. Woke up the next morning to a deep-fried spider. Definitely crispy, extra crispy. So yeah, that poor tarantula is no longer. Of course, the snake is no longer as well, but he lived a full and happy life. In fact, he spent 3 months of it in a closet because he got out. And when we were getting all her stuff out of her apartment, another funny story, I was cleaning out the closet of my stuff because we used to live in the apartment together, and my husband was doing something else. Well, I was just going through stuff, and I was just like, you know what, honey, here, come take over, because I think he had a question about something, or I needed to go do something, or something else. And he goes over there and he starts getting the stuff out of the closet, and he gets to our board games, which was in a box, and all of a sudden you hear him go, guys, come here. And we're all like, like, what? And we hear him go, I found Fido. Yes, the snake's name was Fido. My nephew's named him. And stuff, and he had been in there for 2 to 3 months. So it was lucky that he came out alive. But boy, was he hungry. And stuff, but it was so funny because had I kept cleaning that closet and had I found Fido, yeah, you would have heard the most blood-curdling female scream. No offense to any females, but I scream, quote-unquote, like a girl. Excuse me. Something in my throat there. I guess I'm getting all choked up about screaming like a girl. Anyways, but yeah, it would have been really loud, really high-pitched, and I probably would have ran and jumped off the balcony of the second story. That's how terrified of some of these things I am. And just, I never really was one for the snake, but like I said, I tolerated him. Anyways, so now that we have all of our spiders and stuff in here, and we set everything up and everything's all like that, we're going to go ahead and we're going to do the centerpiece here of the terrarium, which I think turned out rather well. I love a lot of these plants. And then we're just going to go ahead and finish it all up. And yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to leave you for a couple more seconds and I'll be back. Alrighty, so one thing that I still have left to do, even after all of this gameplay, is I would like to put more foliage in the terrarium area on the other side of these African daisies. Now, please let me know if you agree, if you disagree. Let me know why you disagree if you disagree. Also, I will say that I did add foliage to the outside of the terrarium, especially on the side facing the staff buildings, and where the bathroom will be off camera, so you'll see that in the live play. Speaking of the live play, we're about ready to get on into that, so I'm going to go ahead and stop talking, and I'll see you in a couple seconds here for that live play. Alrighty, and welcome to our live play. I guess we should probably hit play there. Okay, so one of the things that I wanted to start with here was the terrarium and kind of work our way backwards, because I got to do this special. Okay, yeah. So what I had totally forgotten about while I was recording was that I did do the front area here with foliage, and I just love the way this little pond area turned out here. And then of course we have our sign, which I'm going to go back in a little bit later here today and add lights to, because I do not have lights on it. And then we just come on in here, and we have our exhibit. So we have our Lesser Antillean iguana and this one, which is here somewhere. One thing I forgot to do, which I've done on all of my other exhibits, is put the divider in between the two so they can't see into each other's exhibits. Oh, they're okay. Oh, lady, don't bend over. No, just kidding. That's an interesting choice of pants and shirt, though. Good job. Someone dressed themselves when they were 3. Okay, enough of being a witchy queen. Oh. Let's see. What's in this one? The green iguana. Oh, where are you, Mr. Green Iguana? Or Miss Green Iguana? You're here somewhere. So while I'm doing this, oh, there we are. I just want to give a little bit of, I don't know if you'd call it a shout out or anything, but just a kind of, to everyone out there that is watching this, I'm recording this on New Year's Eve, so I want to say Happy New Year. I honestly hope that your 2019 was great and that your 2020 will be even greater. All right. So moving right along, we've got our centipede here, our Amazonian giant centipede, which is right there on that rock right there. And then we have our Mexican red-knee tarantula. Yay, spiders. Ugh. You know, one thing that I would have thought in here, and I don't see any, would be you would see spider webs. You know, I mean, they're spiders. Come on now. I don't see. Of course, trying to find the spiders is, you know, not easy. Oh, I guess that's okay. They're in here somewhere. Here, spider, spider, you'll never hear me say that in the real world. Here, spider, spiders. No, no. Oh, looks like they're just, you know, hiding somewhere. Wait. Is that? Oh, that's just the plant. Well, moving right along. Let's see here. That's right, you clean that. We have our giant forest scorpion. Oh, yay, another one of my favorite things in the world. Scorpions scare me too. Oh, there's one. They're so tiny for being giant. Maybe that's a baby. I have no idea what scorpions really look like in real life. I don't think I've ever seen one. Now we have our giant hairy scorpion, which is here. Oh, I see them. See them down here, hiding away, and on the log over here. Cool. And then these are going to be the rest of our spiders, I believe. We have our Brazilian wandering spider, which I don't know if we're going to be able to see or not. Lord knows with these spiders. Oh well. And over here we have our Brazilian salmon pink tarantula. You think a pink tarantula would be easy to find. But, right? I don't want to spend too much time here looking. I mean, I guess I could click on it and... Oh! Ta-da! I found one! Yay! So that is Belle's Terrarium. Or Belle Terrarium. Presented by Belle Inc. Alrighty then. So we're going to turn this way as to not see anything else. We're going to come this way around the reptile house. Over the wolves. Back around here. And we're going to head over to our peafowls. And our peafowls, dun, 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 oops, are presented by Carol's Crafts. Carol's Crafts would be my mom. And she actually does do crafts. She makes handmade cards, and she actually sells them, at least for now, at a little store in Helmer, Idaho. That is until the store sells and stuff. And I believe the person that is looking to buy it no longer wants to do these artsy craftsy stuff to sell. So that's kind of a bummer. But my mom's cards are totally awesome. If she ever does a website, I'll do a link. But yeah, so let's head on in here. What the heck? I guess we sell hats and stuff? Oh yeah, well there's hat shops. Stupid. And here we have our peacocks. One of the most awesome things to do with my mom at a zoo is to have her do her peacock call. One time she had so many flocking towards her, it's like a mating call. It's awesome. Anyways, as you can see, I changed the color of the roof and the beams and everything to blue to kind of match that peacock color. And here's the interesting stuff that I did with the beams. And then look, this is what I was talking about. Trash. Humans, we're disgusting. We need to stop. There is a crap ton of peacocks in here. They are mating like crazy. So I'm probably going to have to turn some of them off. Now, it would be really, really nice if this keeper here would come in here and do this. I think I need to get a caretaker and just assign him to this and this alone. Or her. But yeah, so this is our... No one's really... I mean, you can tell people were coming over here on this side by all the trash, but no one really is anymore, probably because of the trash. But you can see the peacocks right there, no problem. Got them over here, but there is a ton of them. All right, we're going to wrap it up here with, as you can see, I put out, you know, little lamps and all the education stuff off camera and benches. And then we have our tables, which I don't know why I'm doing this because no one freaking uses them. I hardly ever see anybody sitting down at these darn tables. Of course, not really anybody's using the food court right now either. Oh, they are. So yeah, here's our food court and stuff and all that wonderfulness that I put, you know, the elephant grass, you know, me and my elephant grass. And then over here, turn. I added this bathroom. I don't think I did that on camera. And then, of course, all the stuff here in between. Funny story just now, as I was, quote-unquote, pointing out all this stuff over here. I could probably close this window. Over here, I actually used my finger to point. That doesn't help because you guys cannot physically see me. So I'm definitely having one of those banner days. Benches lining all along here. I think I just need to put some lights in. But I got all that foliage. And I think it just looks beautiful. And that's going to about do it for us. So I'm going to hit pause. And yeah, so if you liked this episode, please smash that like button. Also, if you're new, go ahead and hit subscribe. And as always, leave me a comment. Give me some feedback. Cool. Lord knows I need it. And yeah, so I'm Gamer5150. I also go by Steven, and I hope you've had a wonderful day. And that I hope you have a wonderful 2020 coming up. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.